Hey guys, and welcome back to the channel. This is Time FK7, and today we're going to be reviewing a 2022 Honda Civic Sport, the 11th gen Honda Civic. Let's go. If you're in the market for floor mats or LED lights, be sure to check out LastFit's website because you do get 10% off if you use my code CTFK7. So anything you choose from their website, that applies the whole cart. So be sure to check that out because I do have all the products on the Type R as well as the FK7. Also, we have a new sponsor on the channel, American Modified, which I did recently a video of the duck bill that they gave me, and they also sent me some other things, which is again going to be a future video, so be sure to stick around for that. Starting off with the exterior of the car. Now, as you can see, Honda decided to do a less aggressive look on their 11th gen Civics compared to last year's really aggressive look. Last year had a bunch of fake vents, whereas this year on the 11th gen, you still get fake vents, but there's not that many. But the very front of the car, we have our headlights. Now these are fully LED. That means you have your LED daytime running light and you have your LED low beams and high beams. And then if we go over here, we have fog lights. Now since this is a sport, you don't get fog lights, I believe. This may or may not be actual fog lights. Some models you'll get fog lights, some models you would. But right here, unlike last generation where there's like a really big black fake vent, this model is just nice and cleaner looking. There are some vents that aren't open. Anyways, the whole design of the front kind of reminds me of a beluga whale, especially on the white color of the car. At first, when I saw it in picture, I didn't really like it, but like up close in person, I mean, it's all right. I prefer the 10th gen design better, but this might grow on me someday because I know Honda was trying to go for a more mature look on the car. Just like on the 10th gen, they kind of stuck with the same hood design. So now we're going on the side of the vehicle, and as you can see, this vehicle is already tinted because the owner of this car has already tinted the vehicle, which I think looks really nice. It really makes the car look a lot better. This is why I'm saying tint your windows, because as you can see right here, there's like a black, you have your flat black pillars. It's not that glossy black that you would find on the 10th gen, but it's more of a flat black right here. The door handle, you actually have like a little fingerprint. It's not really a fingerprint, but it's like a touch sensitive handle. If you touch it, it'll lock. There's also a feature where you can walk away and the car would automatically lock by itself. It's kind of like the Accord. This is basically the handle. They took the handle from the Accord and slapped it on the Civic, which I think is fine. And then right here, down here, again, it's not as aggressive as the 10th gen. It's more of a mature, toned down kind of look to it. However, I do like the wheels. In my opinion, this really suits the car. It makes it look even more sportier. And on some models, you get the same wheels that you would get on the FK7. Whereas these wheels on the Sport, it kind of looks like the Type R limited edition wheels, the forged wheels from BBS, which I really like. And if I had a choice, I would actually swap these wheels out and I would put it on my FK7. So thumbs up for that. It is a gloss black, so it will get dust easily. The size of these wheels are 18 inches, and then the tires that you get is a Goodyear Eagle Sport all seasons. So moving on to the back of the vehicle. The back of the vehicle, you're gonna see a new taillight design. It's more of a L-shaped design, whereas on the Civic, it was more like a little crab claw design. It's different than the Accord. It kind of reminds me of a Volkswagen taillight, which, you know, it's fine. You do still get halogen reverse lights, so when you're reversing, you're still gonna get that brownish light. And then if you go over here, we have the Honda logo in the middle, the Civic logo on the left, and on the right of me is the Sport logo. You do get a backup camera, which looks a little bit clearer than the 10th generation's camera. And then you get a single tip exhaust, which is on the right side. The thing I like about this design is you get like this, it's a subtle back spoiler or back lip that already comes with the car. This, in my opinion, will look a lot better if you get like a gloss black duckbill or something like that, in my opinion. So. All right, moving on. So we are now inside the 11th gen Honda Civic. So as you can see, we have a big improvement in the interior. And this is what I like about the new redesign, is because everything in the interior is updated and everything inside is pretty much LED, because if I press on this button right here, you don't get the halogen lights, you do get your LED lights. So that's pretty cool. It comes standard with the car on all models. This is the instrument cluster of the 11th gen Honda Civic, and right here is actually a screen. I don't know if you guys can see the outline of it, but on the right side, as you can see, it's like a black, this is where the screen cuts off. And then on the right side is the, that's your speedometer, and only your speedometer. You can't really customize that to your liking. It has a bunch of sensors, like my door is open. We have like a little icon where it senses who's inside of the car. And obviously I'm not wearing my seatbelt. And as you can see right here, since I'm sitting in the driver's seat, that one is already highlighted red, meaning there's somebody there. Now this could be scary, especially if you're alone. Let's go right here. We're gonna play around with the steering wheel button, because you do get your buttons on the steering wheel, like your little knob right here, which you can control your volume. So now if we go under meter setup, that's where we can set our language. Let's see how many languages they have. So they have France, Espanol. So they only have French and Spanish. Oh, oh shit. Oh shit. Oh, uh-oh. I did not mean to do that. Selection, rain, adjuster, volume, the alarm, illumination. I have no idea, dude. What? Group collaboration. Yeah, this is a problem. Everything is in Spanish now. I don't understand. Illumination, I think that means light. Configuration di sistema. I honestly don't know. Oh, okay, I'm gonna ask if she knows Spanish. What I noticed was if you change the language over here, this part right here would stay in English. So you don't have to worry about like having the whole car. Like what I did earlier, I accidentally changed this to Espanol, which you don't want to do because if you're like me, you don't understand Spanish, then yeah, you're gonna have a hard time figuring it out. And honestly, I have no idea how I figured it out, but I got it back to English. So I guess that's good because, you know, I don't want to give this to the owner with the Spanish dash. Anyways, right here, if we go on the infotainment screen, this is a 7-inch infotainment screen. This model does not have wireless Apple CarPlay, so you're gonna have to plug in a wire just like you would on your 10th gen Civic. As for the seats, these actually feel the same. These are like the same seats that you get on the FK7, maybe a little bit different, but on this model it's a manual adjusting seat, meaning you would have to adjust the seat right here on the bottom, just like on the FK7, whereas the Touring you get electronic seats. And if you go right here, we have your digital thermometer, which you can adjust your air, so that's pretty cool. You get your little digital numbers there, and then what I like are these analog sticks, these analog stick like vent nub thingies, so you can adjust your air vents. At first I didn't really like this honeycomb design, but over time, now that I'm looking at it in person, it doesn't look that bad. It may be hard to clean, but it doesn't look bad at all. We have our drive modes right here, so if we shift up, it's going to go in sport, and shift back down, it's going to go back to normal, and then on the bottom, very bottom, it's the eco. So your sport mode is not actually on the shifter like you would get on your hatchback 10th gen. It's going to be this little guy right here, and this has a auto stop and start feature, which I highly recommend turning it off unless you're that kind of person that likes it. We have our electronic park and brake here, and then the brake hold button as well. And then this has a funny texture to it. I'm not sure if I like it or not. I like how it looks, I just don't really like how it feels. You get 2 cup holders here, and then you'd also get like a little cubby down there. Some models you get wireless charging, but since this model does not have wireless Apple CarPlay, wireless Apple Android Auto, you're not going to get the wireless phone charger down there. You do, however, get a USB right there, which you would be plugging in for your Apple CarPlay or your Android Auto, and then you get your, of course, your car plug there. This is what the pedal looks like. This has more of a simpler design, and of course we have our hood release right here, and then our trunk release is right there. Now looking at the door, we have our basic controls, like our unlock and lock button. This is our child safety window button right here, so if you have a toddler in the back and you don't want them opening the window, this is the button that you can press. Obviously the 2 front windows are automatic, whereas the rear windows are not. And then we have a little pocket right here which you can just put like a water bottle, or in this case some glasses. Going back in the rear, these are all cloth seats, except for the middle, it's like a leather material. Then if we look over here at the door, we have our window adjuster, we have a handle here, and a little pocket for water. And again, it's made of cloth, the same material that you would find in the front. Moving on to the trunk, this is the storage space that you're gonna get in this car. It's a pretty big trunk. As you can see, we've already have a bin right here, and the seats are also foldable, so they're located right over here. So if you fold this down, so if you pull on this, you can either push it from behind or just go over here and pull the chair down. And then we also have a little, if we lift this up, we also have our spare tire and wheel kit. This is a good thing if ever you do need to change your wheel, just in case you get a flat. This car has 158 horsepower, it weighs about 2,900 pounds, and 0 to 60 is 9.8 seconds. Also, you're only going to get a CVT, so you're not going to get a manual transmission unless you go for the SI or the Type R. Alright guys, so we're now inside of the 11th gen Honda Civic. Right now we're on the regular drive mode. The steering wheel feels pretty smooth. It feels similar to the FK7. It does have different drive modes. Like right now we're on the regular drive mode. It also has an eco mode and sport mode, which we're going to be testing out as well. Now this car comes with 158 horsepower. This is a non-turbo car, so it has a 2-liter 4-cylinder engine. So we're gonna come up to this turn right now. We're gonna put on eco mode first, see if there's any difference between eco and drive. Oh. So there is a slight difference. The regular drive mode, the throttle response is a lot better, whereas on the eco mode, you're gonna have to press a little bit harder to get the car to move. Similar to the FK7, use the eco mode when you're in the highway. That's how you get more efficient with your gas mileage. Whereas if you're in the city, you can put this on the regular normal drive mode. Not noticing any difference in suspension, but the handling on this car is really nice, just like you'd find on the 10th gen Honda Civics. Alright guys, so I just put this on sport mode, and we're gonna see if there's a difference in handling or acceleration. We're about to go from 20 miles to 40 miles, since that's the speed limit here, so let's floor it. So as you just saw on the sport mode, the revs are a lot higher than what you would get in the regular drive mode or eco mode. Now again, this does not have that turbocharged engine, so you're not really going to get that kick like what you would get if you did have that 1.5 liter engine. This is eco mode. We're going to test out the steering wheel, see if there's a difference. Normal drive mode, and sport mode. They all feel the same. Suspension wise, they do also feel the same as well. The difference to me, in my opinion, is when the car is in sport mode, the RPMs get higher and the throttle response is a lot quicker than the regular normal drive mode and obviously the eco mode. One thing that's really cool about this car is that it memorizes the street signs. So if the speed limit in your area is 25 miles an hour, it'll display right there. And if you're going over 25 miles an hour or going over the speed limit, then that sign will blink. Because if you look over here on the street, there's a 25 mile an hour sign right there. And the same thing is showing on your dash, which is pretty cool. Similar to the Honda Accord. Another thing that I want to mention is that you see how there's like a green bar above the number? So that's your gas efficiency light. So if the light disappears, that means you're consuming more gas, whereas if the light is green, that means you're saving up gas. We're gonna put it on sport mode, see what happens. It turns red when you're in sport mode. So I'm gonna go ahead, step on the gas. So it just stays a solid red even though I'm pressing on the gas pedal. We have a red push to start button, which is really cool. And there you go. It turns white when you turn it off. Alright guys, so that about wraps up this video. Overall, the 11th gen design is really growing on me. I'm starting to like it more and more as each day passes. At first, I didn't really like the whole design, especially the front. They really toned down the aggressiveness of this car. I don't know, we'll see with the next Type R that they come out with. I'd rather see it without the wrap. But yeah, I mean, the 11th gen design is fine. I would rate it a 7 out of 10. I really like the stock wheels. If you found this video helpful, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more content, specifically 10th gen Honda Civic content, because I do post every week. And maybe, who knows, in the future, there might be more 11th gen Honda Civic content. Sorry for the background noise. But yeah, anyways, guys, thank you all for watching. This is Time FK7, and peace out.